so today I'm going to be showing you how Felix Bodden performed his trick on Penn and Teller. I believe it was last year, it might have been 2 years ago, but it was not this current season, it was definitely a previous season. But today I'm going to show you a quick performance of the trick that he performed on Penn and Teller, and I'm going to show you guys the trick right now. So basically I have a deck of cards here. All the cards are random and shuffled. I can go ahead and give them a quick shuffle beforehand as well. And if I had a spectator here, I will just show you guys all the cards here are different. What I'm going to do is I'm going to riffle up the corners just like this, and I want the spectator to go ahead and call out stop. And I'm going to look away. So let's say the spectator calls out stop right there. So you guys take a look at that card. Please remember that card the best you can. And now we're going to go ahead and lose that card in the center of the deck. I'm just going to shuffle it up a little bit. And if I had a spectator, I would hand them the deck, and they would go ahead and mix up the deck even more thoroughly, just like this. So now you guys can see that, yes, clearly the deck, every single card is in a completely random position. Everything is completely random and normal, just like this, alright? So for this trick, I need the help of 2 cards, and I actually left them over here. They are from a different deck of cards, these 2 cards. They are actually the 2 jokers, just like this. And now, the 2 jokers are going to help me find your card, but there is one little catch. They don't know what the card you picked is. So in a moment, I'm actually going to hold the jokers up to the camera, and I'm going to turn away, and I want you guys, yes, you guys, through the screen, I want you guys to whisper the name of your card to the jokers right now. So go ahead and do that. Got it? Alright, perfect. So now that the jokers know what your card is, I'm actually going to place them one towards the top face up, one towards the bottom face down, or face up, just so that you guys can see where they are in the deck. And what's going to happen in this trick is they're going to try and narrow down the search. They're going to try and get closer and closer and closer to finding your selection. So in a real performance, I would actually have the spectator, you know, like wave their hand over the deck just like this. And once they wave their hand over the deck, I would snap my fingers and say, take a look. As you can see, the 2 jokers left from the top and the bottom, and now they've traveled to the middle of the deck, around the middle of the deck. And I'll go ahead and I'll show you guys a little bit more closely here. See, we have the first joker here. How many cards would you estimate are in between? Maybe like 6, 7, 8, around there, right? So now, if I had a spectator, again, I would have them wave their hand over the deck, snap their fingers, and now, finally, look at that. The jokers have now narrowed down the search. They've gone all the way they can go in the middle of the deck, just trapping 1 card. The 2 jokers here. What was your card? Was it the Ace of Clubs? I believe it was. So guys, that was the trick, and now for the tutorial. Alright guys, so here's the tutorial for the Felix Bodden trick that he performed on Penn and Teller. This is actually a very, very cool trick because it is completely impromptu. All you need is a normal deck of cards, and that's pretty much all you're going to need for this trick. You're also just going to need 2 jokers. They can be from the same deck, or they can be from a different deck. In the Felix Bodden performance, he uses the jokers from a different pack of cards, but you guys can obviously use the jokers from the same deck. It really doesn't matter. To start out the trick, you just need a shuffled deck of cards, so you can have the spectator shuffle up the deck just a little bit. And this is the first thing that you're going to do, is you're going to have the spectator choose any card they want just by riffling up the corner just like this. So how you do this is you're going to hold the cards in this sort of grip. This is how I do it. I mean, a lot of magicians kind of just firmly hold the cards like this and then do it, but I think that just seems a little bit closed off. I think it's a little bit more open to let your fingers here, your middle ring and pinky finger, just kind of let them be open. And you can leave your index finger sort of curled around the deck if you want to. I just think this makes it a little bit more fair, a little bit more open. And I'm just holding the cards with my thumb and index finger there. That's like the main gripping points that I'm holding the deck with. I'm going to come over with my right hand and I'm going to riffle the top right corner because this shows all the pips of the cards. As you can see all the cards when you riffle through. And you're going to have the spectator go ahead and just call out stop whenever they want. And you're going to turn away. So they're going to go ahead and call out stop right there. Let's say they're remembering the 4 of hearts in this case. You're actually going to have to catch a pinky break right below this card. What you're going to do is, let's say they choose a different card. Or the same one. Let's do 4 of hearts again. So as they're done looking, what I do is I take my pinky and I just put it right there and I turn away as I riffle the rest of the deck on top. And what that does is it actually maintains a tiny, tiny pinky break just like this. And now what I can do is this. I can actually peek at the card as I shuffle the deck. So what I do is I'm going to hold this break, and all I'm going to do is take my hand on the left side of the deck, just not on the right, on the left side of the deck. And I'm going to maintain this pinky break. What I'm going to do is I'm just literally going to take the deck and kind of pivot it around these fingers. I'm just going to sort of turn it over. And this pinky break, what it's going to allow me to do is it's actually going to separate the cards at that point just like this. And this is from my point of view, and now I can clearly see the card that they selected is the 4 of hearts, and I just look at that for a split second. So that's all I do. So I get a pinky break just like this. I turn over the cards, and as you can see, the cards here move slightly outward than these cards, and now you can clearly see that they picked the 4 of hearts. And I just remember that very, very quickly as I square up the cards and shuffle them. And now the deck can be completely shuffled. You can hand the deck over to the spectator, and they can go ahead and shuffle the deck. And now I know what their card is. Their card is the 4 of hearts. That's all I need to know. And now for this part of the trick, you're just going to show the spectator after they're done shuffling that all the cards are shuffled. You're going to show the cards face up, and what you're going to be doing is looking for their card. So now once you see their card, kind of keep your eye on it, and then once you see it, you're going to count 3 cards right on top of it. So you're going to see 4 of hearts, and you're going to count 1, 2, 3, and kind of hold your finger there just like this so that you can continue spreading all the cards, but you're going to keep a pinky break right below this card over here. And what you're going to do is you're just going to cut these cards to the top. You can double undercut them or just simply cut them to the top. And what that does actually is now it controls their card so that it's the 4th from the top, the 4th card from the top. And that is exactly what you want for this part of the trick. So now once their card is the 4th card here, just like this, that will be their card, the 4th one. You're going to spread the cards out on the table face down, just like this. And what's going to happen is this. You're going to introduce the 2 jokers, and you're going to have the spectator whisper the name of their card to the jokers, because the jokers don't know what the card they selected is. So this part is all just, for show, for presentation, and it just helps add to the, magic of the effect. So you're just going to turn away, have the spectator whisper the name of their card. It doesn't even matter if you hear it, doesn't matter if you don't, because the jokers are going to be doing all the work here. But in reality, you are going to do a lot of sleight of hand in just a minute. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the first joker face up, place it towards the bottom. I like to do 3 cards just like that. I like to just go 1, 2, 3, and then boom, put it right there, right after 3 cards. And then this one, actually, you do have to place it right next to these 3 cards over here, just like this. And what that means is that you've placed 3 random cards here on top of your joker, and now your joker is right on top of the 4 of hearts. This card right here is the 4 of hearts. So keep that in mind. You have to place the jokers in these exact spots or else it won't work, okay? So now you can show this off. You can show that the jokers are very far apart. You actually do want to make a point about that the jokers are far apart in the deck, and that in this trick, they're going to see if they can narrow down the search to find their selection. So now for this part of the trick, in the performance that you guys just watched, I could not use a lot of misdirection because the camera is staring at my hands. But in this real part of the trick, if I was doing this to a real spectator, all I would use here is misdirection, and I can actually do a Herman pass in the complete open, and the spectators would not see it because they're too busy holding out their hand face down, because that's what you're going to ask them to do right now. You're going to say, can you actually do me a favor, just hold out your hand palm down? As they do that, they're just going to be like looking at their hand going palm down. That's what they're going to be doing. All their attention is on their own hand. What you're going to do is just break off about half the cards just like this with your pinky, and you're going to just do a Herman pass. Boom. That's all you're going to do. For the performance that I did, I had to do it from the side angle because that's just the way that I like to conceal my Herman passes. If I'm doing them right in front of their face with no misdirection, that's like the only way I can really pull off a Herman pass without it being seen. For this part of the trick, it's all misdirection because you're asking them to hold out their hand, so you really don't have to worry about the spectators watching you because all their attention is on their own hand. So you can just do a Herman pass completely out in the open, or you can just simply cut the cards, just do it very quickly. But I would recommend doing a Herman pass just because it's very, very easy, and it's also very, very invisible if the spectator is misdirected. So once you do that, you're just going to place the deck here on the table. You're going to have them just like wave their hand over and ask them to like believe that the jokers are going to get closer and closer in the deck. And once you do that, you can ask them to snap their fingers, and you're going to spread the deck out now just normally. And now you can see that the jokers have now moved from the top and the bottom all the way close to the center of the pack. And this is actually because when you did the Herman pass, all a Herman pass is just cutting the cards invisibly. And when you cut the cards, it will move them from the top and the bottom to the middle of the deck. And that's basically all that you did. Keep in mind, their selection is actually going to be the card right behind the last joker over here. This is actually the 4 of hearts right over here. So keep that in mind for this next part of the trick, because now what you're going to do is something called a cull. So this is what's going to happen. You're going to spread out the cards, and you're going to ask the spectator to estimate how many cards are in between the jokers. Now this is sort of a little bit of misdirection as well, because you're asking the spectator to think of something or look at something as you're doing a sneaky move. So what you're going to do here is, as you see the first joker, you're actually going to take your thumb here, your left thumb, and you're going to place it on top of the card that is on top of the joker. You're going to take your right hand fingers, and you're going to actually place your fingers here on this joker. So now, if I was going to pull my fingers back with this card, you can see that it's going to slide. just like this, and that's exactly what you want. You're gonna pull this card with your thumb forward, and you're gonna pull the fingers back. So you're gonna pull the Joker back, and you're gonna pull this card forward at the same time. And if you keep pulling this back, the Joker back, you're gonna hear it kind of click off the deck, just like this, or not really hear it, but you can feel it when it's not in the spread anymore, just like this. So now it's actually underneath the spread, completely underneath the spread. You're gonna keep spreading over the cards until you see this Joker over here. When you see this Joker, you're gonna go one more card. This is their selection. This is where you're gonna have to insert this Joker now. So now what I like to do is I like to sort of lift up the deck at this point. After this card, which is their selection, I lift up the deck and I just kind of place that Joker. I just kind of slide it in there with my fingers. I just kind of push it right back in that position as I keep spreading the deck quickly, and then boom, that move is completely done now. All I have to do is ask the spectator to one more time wave their hand over the deck, snap their fingers, and now when they take a look, they're gonna see one card and one card only sandwiched in between the Jokers. These can be from a different deck, it doesn't matter, but as you guys can see, the card will always be their selection 4 of hearts, or whatever card they chose. So guys, this trick is really, really cool. It just requires a little bit of practice with the Herman Pass and the Cole part that I just taught you, but with some practice, you guys should get it down flawlessly, and it should look absolutely amazing. This trick is super visual for the spectator, because they can really see the Jokers moving closer and closer until they find their card. So guys, I really hope you like this trick. See you guys for my next video. Bye.